Welcome to the Whitewood Lodge Challenge. I'm your host, the ghost host with the most, Joseph Johnson. If you wish to leave, you must complete my challenges. Fail and you'll be stuck here with me forever. Please make your way to the first chamber and good luck.
Alright, so we have an overzealous entertainer who is taking on a bit of a sore persona. Fair enough. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a game called The Mad Mansion, which is described as a psychological horror with elements of little demon children. Oh no, they're just holding things around the place. Focuses on exploration and puzzles, that sort of thing. And if that opening is anything to go by, it's going to be a bit fun. Right then, police are searching for a group of children between the ages of 5 and 9 that went missing this Halloween. The group pictured excellent pictures. I can see exactly who these children are. If I saw them amongst a crowd of 1,000,000, I could easily pick them out because they are totally undefined. Right then, I mean, I get it. You're using a stock image because you don't want to put pictures of actual children again. I get it. I'm just being crass. Right. Escaped their parents to get more sweets, whatever that teenage slang means. They were seen headed in the direction of Old White Lodge. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward. Ah, is that who I've come to rescue? Right. Underneath my flapping choppers, there is a bar. You can see just the edge of it, where that lampshade is. I don't know how to make it drain. I don't know what that relates to, because it doesn't go down when I run, and it doesn't seem to go down when I have my light on, so I'm not entirely sure what all that is about. Okay, I don't know what all that's about. Goodness. Made it a little difficult for Granny to get up the stairs. That is a little mean, my friend. Idiot. Jump like a jump like, I don't know, what can jump like this? A kangaroo. Good afternoon. Would you mind buzzing off? Thank you very much. Right. That wasn't very spooky. Spooky old abandoned house. I beg to differ. Old and abandoned. Well, old, yes. Abandoned, no. Spooky, definitely not. Right, but 1 out of 3 isn't bad, I suppose. Initial observations: old, unsure how old, strange blend of technology, clean, strangely so, no cobwebs or anything, haven't seen any graffiti, which is odd, as door was just opened. Did someone clean it? Does somebody live here? Probably. You're probably lucky that you didn't die. Although given that your note is in here, you probably did. Right then, perhaps I should stop mucking about, he says, and immediately going to muck about and do something else. What a strange picture. Right then, some little Renaissance art there, so I'd better stop looking at it before we get horribly arrested for showing things on the internet I'm not supposed to be showing. Right, fire in a house. An excellent idea. What's this? Pick up statue piece. Alright. I presume this is a walking stick, and not one of those poles that they used to grab people with in order to pull them off stage in comedy sketches a long time ago. Sorry. I turned around looking for where that sound was, and the sound constantly came from the right-hand side of me. I thought I was trying to track down what door it was opening, but in reality it just seemed to be from the statue.
The living room, entertaining guests. Although I haven't used it in a while, it looks like the fuses have blown.
Do I need to mend that? Am I Mr. Mechanic Man that has come here to mend things? Never mind, I was trying to turn the light on in a plate. It is my belief that audience participation is central to any performance. If you tell that to a lecturer, I will get very cross at you. Their reactions, cries of joy and fear, is seen as enough by some, but it is better to have them take part, to have them experience the show as part of it. There is no such thing as an unskilled performer. You have heard me sing, haven't you? Only one that does not commit themselves fully to the show. Right then, it appears we have a real showboat going on around here then. Okay, we have a note here with some numbers on it. Now, it said in the control scheme that I could press buttons. Yes, I could press buttons, the number keys even, to activate certain keys on the keyboard. I see, so presumably I need to hit C, E, F, A, and C again. Presumably, that is the shtick. Do I need to mend the fuses first? Or do you want me to play the piano first? Oh, I thought that was writing on it, but no, indeed not. Alright then. Here we have a portcullis and a prison with a lot of dead people in it, because... and a big mushroom. Because those are all of the things that you naturally keep attached to your living room and entertainment centre. Right then, we'll get back to all of that in a sweet second. I just want to have a wee waltz about first. Johnson gets axed. Poor Johnson. Oh, you mean a TV show? Sorry. I thought you meant somebody getting walloped with a big axe. Oh dear. The TV show of Puzzles of Perdia has been cancelled following the death of two contestants during its first live special. Its host and showrunner Joseph Johnson has been promised a dynamic challenge that will engage even the viewers at home, but has now been fired from the Broadcasting Central conglomerate because we wanted a nice, specific and catchy name for our company. Johnson previously worked on the shows Crow and The Octagon, while both shows being cancelled due to onset of injuries to contestants and apparent creative differences. When reached for a comment, Johnson said, "There will always be detractors, but the show must go on." I agree. Even when there are enormous interruptions going on, the show must continue. Even if you do have to put in more jump cuts than you'd like. Can I was going to say, can I smash the glass? But no. That would be unguestly of me. I shall not do that. That key has gone up just behind my face. It would seem that that little orange bar that I was interested in is in reality it's an inventory. What does that say? Joseph Johnson's Circus of Puzzlement. I'm not convinced that's a word. Circuses Incorporated are not responsible for any physical harm, illness, mental traumas, curses, loss of life caused by the show. Tickets are non-refundable under any circumstances. The signage that warns of dogs is a joke. The signage that warns of goats is not. I don't much like circuses, but that actually sounds like a decent one. I span the world around. Right. I am sitting on top of the world, singing a song. Right. Never mind. None of that. Should we ever go with a piano? If I can get this open. Okay, that used the key that I had. Alright then. Let me quickly scribble down these numbers, because there's no way in hell I'm going to remember them. Actually, maybe I can just do them all at a time. Maybe that would work better. So we want 8 and then 0, do we? How does this work? 8. And then 0. Then we want, what does that say? 4, 6, 1. So 4, 6, 1.
Oh, memories.
Banging tunes. No, I haven't cut them out because of copyright. There's just no music playing. This is the world's quietest piano. Right then, should we get to that in a minute, or should we do with this? Ugh. The boiler room, where we boil people for telling poor jokes, which means I'm utterly screwed. I should have listened to Grace. I mean, she probably didn't expect a show ghost host. Oh, what a phrase. or whatever, but I am definitely missing tomorrow's class with Mr. Barr, except he was held hostage by a ghost as a reason for being late. I doubt it. Those stinky teachers. Not understanding that someone's being murdered. What was that? I didn't catch a word of that. These look like little robot faces, and they're quite cute. Okay, so I need to get the electricity working again somehow. What does this say? State Electrical Commission. Yes. Contact if anything gets wrong and bad and awful, and remember the use of red paint. Open any of these drawers? Twould seem not. Can I press any of these buttons? Twould seem not! What a disaster. Alright then, I need to find a way of reactivating this, presumably, and getting things working again. But I don't seem to be able to interact with any of these fuse boxes, despite the fact that they've got little red lights on them, implying they need to be fiddled with, but fiddle I cannot. Alright then, perhaps I need to do something in this other room before we can do that. There wasn't anything in here I could have used, was there? Like levers or anything to get this portcullis up. Presumably not. Perhaps I need the power to open the door. Let's see what we have in here. Oh, good. Much jam. Excellent. I was hungry. Oh, fiddlesticks. What am I going to do? No, seriously, what am I going to do? Let's each open drawer. Oh, there are drawers in these cupboards. Alright. I don't quite know how I'm going to find something in here that will be helpful to me. Ah, I found a ruby, and apparently that made everything better. Okay, I don't think that's how Indiana Jones got out of a similar pickle, but I'm not as well hatted as he is, so naturally there would be some differences between us. Alright then, let's see if maybe this isn't a ruby, maybe this is like a knob. I mean, there's definitely a knob around here. I think he's around about here, but perhaps I can use this to turn one of these on. Ooh, 'tis a dial. Use arrow keys. He says, pressing Y like a cretin. Oh, so it's like safe crack, and I have to find the bit that works. Okay, fair enough. So I need to waltz around and find me various knoblets and use them for the doing of stuff. Alright, fair enough. What about this? That sort of turns, but then it's like it's like it doesn't like that, and it goes back again. And then I can't activate that, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm wrong with it. No, not that. Is there a drawer I can open? I don't think so. No. Go away. Here? No. So there must press what? I didn't press anything. What? Oh, there's a box here. There's a box I couldn't see because I'm not very bright. Sorry, the problem is when you get close to these things, not that, I want the light. When you get close to these things, the light becomes a bit too bright. So you have to kind of, and a bit too small as well. So you have to kind of turn it off when you get close to things, but keep it on when you're far away. It's rather confusing. Right then. I presume that I can't leave this room until I've sorted everything out. No, I cannot. Alright then. So there are 2 more knobs that need to be found. 2 more dials, even. If we could use a slightly less rude verb, that would be lovely. Phil. Giddy aunt, what happened? Why is the poker holder so bouncy exactly? Why is that a thing? There must be. Can I not open these drawers here? No, it would seem not. It's not like there's a cooldown on interacting with stuff. It's like I get tired and decide that I need to wait a while before I can have another go. Alright, well here's the second dial, but we're going to need a third one. And I have Neobaldi's where to find that. Is it slightly redder? It's difficult to tell. But I feel like the one that it needs to be pointing to is ever so slightly redder than the rest of it. But I could be mistaken. Presumably when we get this all working, we'll be able to interact with all of this stuff, and that will do something, perhaps, possibly, probably not. Didn't it say something about being able to There we are. I can sort of hold down crouch in order to prone. But that's not quite good enough because it doesn't get me through here. I don't see another dial in there, however, and I don't see anything which would open in order to give me one. So, I don't believe that, that room is where I'm going to find the final dial. I'm also beginning to think that that's just there for flavour rather than for anything of real consequence. So, let me bounce around a little bit like a chimpanzee on cocaine, and then we'll see if we can find the other thing we're looking for. He said it's getting stuck behind a piano. We didn't look around in here too deeply. Let me have another look. Ah. Well, how do I know what piece I'm moving? I love that I'm getting so much choice in this. I'm pretty sure the horse doesn't go there, to be honest. But okay. Apparently we're playing a game of chess, and I seem to have...
Checkmate, I think.
I don't think so, because I don't know which one is the king is the problem. I don't know whether the king is the tall one or the short one. I'm going to assume he's the short one. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. We're not here to debate chess. We're here to be slightly irritated by the fact that you can only play this game if you stand exactly here, which left me really confused. Apparently straightening that picture in this globe have absolutely nothing to do with anything, which is curious, but whatever. It doesn't matter. These developers are very nice. Do you know why they're nice? Because they made a puzzle game, and they wrote a walkthrough for it. And they linked it on their page. So I'm infinitely glad about that. Right, here is a mitten. A mitten which I initially thought was that of a human being. But no, it is that of a... How have I taken so much damage? When did that happen? Oh, did that happen because I keep running into the fire? Yes, it does. Oh, I'm stupid. I had twigged that...
Give them a hand, folks.
As if that isn't the oldest joke in the book. It was funny when Joker told it about Abramovich, and it's not funny when you say it. Is that on the second floor, or is that door over there? No. I had twigged that when I walked into the fireplace I bounced around, but I thought that was just from the pain of it, and I was going to comment about it and laugh, but then I got totally confused with the chess game and totally forgot about it. I didn't realise I was taking damage from it, because I am as observant as a blind imbecile. Right then.
Throughout my life, I have acquired a great many interesting books of varying contents. It seems now necessary that we read They're Flying Off the Shelves.
Very funny. Throughout my life, I have been disappointed by a lack of people, both within and without my profession, that have the necessary creative vision to make real shows. While I have designed new apparatus to amaze and delight, they claim they are unsafe and nightmare-inducing. When I sought a performer for my new act, a natural progression of my sword-swallowing, none stepped up to the challenge, leaving me with many spears and nothing to show for it. Oh, I didn't realise you were swapping out the method of impalement. I thought you were swapping out the orifice. I stand corrected. Alright then, let's not walk into another fireplace. Alright, do I need to gather some books and do some tidying? For you have been most messy. Alright then, ye messy sir, I shall deal with it. So when you said they were flying off the shelves, you wanted me to collect them and put them back. Is that what this is all about? And then presumably I can get this, which is the collar for the statue to wear on the more kinky evenings with his wife. Fair enough. Is there another game of chess I can confusingly not sort of play? It would seem not. This game is a little confusing in the sense that I haven't got a baldies what's going on. Alright then, presumably we're now going to reach the platformy bit. Which is good that I've got a nice long jump, and my character does move rather slowly. But I'm sure we'll be alright. Alright then, I'm not seeing any more bookshelves here. But I can't open this box either, so it really does seem like the rooms are sort of one or the other. They're either about items or they're about platforming. Not about both. Drat, drat, and thrice drat! Never have I known such incompetent workmen cannot even assemble a simple runic array properly. I'm going to assume that's a piece of IKEA furniture. They are quite difficult to put together, you know. One of them had the gale, the gall. One of them had the gall, the utter gall, to ask me if I wanted the axe pendulum dulled. I had to take over multiple times. At this rate, I'll be building my own house. Well, he seems to be a man who has, he believes there is no end to what he can do, which is, common in some eccentric performers. Salvador Dali comes to mind, but at least he actually could do lots of different things. I feel like this chap is just a bit of a moaner and a complainer. Right then.
Don't worry, those skeletons are merely props.
The bones. I wasn't worried about the bones, to be honest with you. I was more worried about the bonds of Caesar over here. Or Caesar, to give him his slightly less anglicised pronunciation. You really liked these paintings, didn't you? You had millions of the same ones. Alright. Bit weird, but never mind. What's this axe pendulum thing you were talking about? Is that something that's going to swing in front of a platform and I'm going to very nearly die to? Or quite possibly very definitely die to innumerable times? We shall have to wait and see. Alright then, what do we have here? We have another piano room. This man really likes his piano music, doesn't he? There's a door there with little windows in it, as if it's accessing a kitchen, which I suppose makes sense, given that you probably get a bit hungry after reading this mountain of information that you've got here. They weren't windows. They were tiny little pictures the size of nickels. Do you mind? Apparently you do. Where science fails, magic provides. I feel like that sentence should be inverted. I learned a great deal during my circus days, and the occult continues to be useful. Why spend money setting up special effects when a few rituals and a few dead children can do it at half the cost? Sacrifice a great deal of time on training animals when you can bind them to your will. And of course, even the detractors can help here. Fresh blood and other items are so hard to get. Well, yes, I suppose.
Bookshelves don't work like this, but who cares?
What did you say? Real bookshelves don't work like this. It's rather difficult to hear what you're saying occasionally. I apologise if he's very quiet. He's not that loud for me. You'd think, being a showman, he'd know how to project his voice and speak in a big booming tone. But, it would seem he doesn't quite know how to do that. Can I find a healing item of some kind? Something other than these amazingly ugly chairs? Perhaps yes, but more likely no. Oh, hang on a minute. Do I need to use... Oh, no, I don't. I was going to say, do I need to use these ones in order to access that area there? But I don't think that I can. I think I need to get on those ones and then go all the way around. Which is going to be a pain, if it means I should need to take a long walk around this big old gap here in the middle. Reminds me of circumnavigating the sinkhole in the forest, as we tried to set up the zip line across it. Ah, memories. My main memory of that is it's mainly just the memory of feeling a lot of pain, really. Alright, let me get on top of this little matchbox that you've glued to the wall. There we go. And now I shall sit here and wait for the next train. Oh man, oh man, oh man alive. Or man quite possibly and quite soon to be dead instead. That might be a slightly more accurate exclamation to make. Let me have another wee go at this. I presume you're meant to have a lot more health and thus a lot more attempts at this. However, I don't, because I managed to throw myself into the fire about 6 times trying to figure out what it was I was throwing myself away from. But, for some reason my brain didn't immediately go to the big burning fire. But never mind. Idiot. Ah, platformer games. And gammy frame rates. Right, I think the trick is to sprint before jumping, because that makes me go a little further. Another common rule of platformers. Alright then, as soon as my train gets here, I'll have another go at this. There we go, that's a bit better. Skirts along the edge of the wall. Now, should I drop down there? Presumably so, for there is a ladder. Giddy old. You nearly threw me off, don't do that. Good to see you again. You really need to take those laryngitis pills you were prescribed. This is a lot of books. Who even needs this many books? And the titles: March of the Clowns, Death Traps and Hidden Doors, Blood Rituals. What did this guy get up to when he was alive? I keep forgetting that our Master of Ceremonies is dead. I keep forgetting that. Alright, can I get up here without falling off? Oh, okay, you sort of climb up it by jumping. Okay, fair enough. Alright then, let me work my way across here, because I'm going to shut up for this bit, because I'm actually going to have to pay attention. So, excuse me a minute. This ladder wasn't here earlier. I don't care if you saw this ladder here earlier. It wasn't here, alright? I'm not an idiot. Honest, I'm not. Right. Was that ladder there? I honestly have no memory of whether there was a ladder there or not. Alright. What can I do with this? Press E to cut the rope. In order to drop the chandelier and presumably break that glass cabinet and get the thing out of it. You know what else we could have done? We could have picked it up and thrown it on the floor. We could have picked up a book and hurled at it. We could have pressed our buttocks against it and then let out a cracking fart that would have broken the glass. Well, that was nicely animated. I'm still rather confused why we went to such an extent, but alright. Can I drop down this far without losing health? Yes. Thank goodness for that. Let me drop onto whatever that is. That'll lower the distance a little. That's quite a big drop. Probably not a comparatively bigger drop, but it's still quite a big one. I feel I need something to prepare me for the taking of such a big one. Right then. Let's stop mucking about and drop down here.
Don't worry, I'll get that fixed when we're done there.
That's nice of you. Thank you for not being cross at me for destroying all of your stuff. I appreciate that. Where did the thing go? Oh, there it is. It bounced all the way down here. That's quite impressive. Alright then, what is this? If it's not a collar, which presumably it can't be, it looks more like a shackle that would go around an arm, like a wrist or an ankle or something. What I'm saying.
I see you're making good progress.
'Twas a monocle. I did not realize he was such a sophisticated gentleman. Unfortunately, both of my eyes are equally screwed, and as such... thank you. It seems to have loaded into a different world, but it's respawned my health, so I'm not complaining.
Try not to get lost down here. People have wandered before, and not all make it back.
No, presumably the person that came in to write the subtitles didn't either. Right then. I can aim with my floating ghost gun, and I can do my shooting with it. It does actually move quite naturally, which is quite nice. But yes, we should see what we can do. Yes, as much as the monocle might look cool, unfortunately I've never been able to get one. Presumably this is ammunition. There we are. I was wondering whether that was ammunition or like a box of, good afternoon. Oh, you're the one with a collar. Sorry. Didn't realise. Would you die, sir? No, you wouldn't. There we are. That's better. Ah, you were the one with the ankle cuffs on. I apologise. There was me making assumptions about the private life of our host, when really I should have realised it was much more his taste to kidnap people and put them in the dungeon. You've got to come work up here as well. This old guy has some wacky design ideas, but he's paying us through the nose to put stuff up and then take it down again, endlessly. Bit of a perfectionist though. Shouted at Fred yesterday for putting a candlestick in the wrong place. Oh Fred. Oh Fred, with half a ton of rubble landing on his bonds. Now he started trying to put it all together by himself. I swear one day he'll drop something and we don't know what though. Some mysterious prediction possibly came true, or possibly didn't. Alright then. So we're taking a real turn from everything else that we've done. We've gone from... I'm sorry, what? How does that... Don't point that... Don't point that down there, mate. I need that for stuff and things later. Right, that seems a bit of impossible geometry back there, so I'm going to leave that to its own own devices for the time being, and we're going to go this way instead, because I'm getting a bit confused going down there. Alright then. Big switch. Which is not what I would have expected, seeing these ankle cuffs.
This one is based on an old favourite. It's come back more times than I have.
Probably turn that back on, shouldn't I? Yeah, you imagine with these ankle cuffs, people would commit one way or the other. Right then, how does this work? Let me grab these bullets. Hello, Mr. Spider. Yes, I didn't realise you're a spider, given by the number of legs you've got. You're not an insect. Terrible shame, that. Right then. So, presumably, I need to turn this switch in some way, which opens some of these doors, at least occasionally. I can rotate the totem. You don't say. So there's a number 2 there. There's a number 1 there. There's number 4 there. And number 3 there. Presumably there is some particular combination that will cause a little moth to get in the way. Scoot, Mr. Moth. Right. Weren't there a monster down there a minute ago before I got distracted by Mr. Moth? Did he go around the corner? And Mr. Monster. Hi, Mr. Monster. Let me see if I can dispatch you. There we are, a little more efficiently than we did the last one. Man alive, that is a nice model. I really wish I could see it in a bit more detail. There we are. I like the googly eyes. They remind me of little red lights being used instead of eyes on rubbish action figures. Oh dear. Right, sorry. Ignore me completely. Losing a contest is always a sad thing, but sometimes necessary. If you cannot make the cut, then you get cut. Of course, some things are left behind, and that is no problem. A wise man is what is provided, and a wiser one sees opportunity. Using some necromancy, I can animate the remains to use as obstacles for future contestants. Such methods need an animating force, so rigging the house with soul-catching words will simplify matters. Yes, this seems very simple by comparison, I'm certain. Right, I love that this gun doesn't have a trigger. I didn't notice that before, but it's a hell of a thing. Right then, presumably this won't work until this is correct. No, that is the sound of refusal. So there is wine bottles and wine glasses. This goes... Oh, this is possibly easier than I thought. I was looking for notes that would make sense of this. Are you 3D? Oh, you are 3D! Somehow that makes me hate you even more. You're also invincible, which makes you further concerning. Alright, I think that one is the spider, because we got the spider there. I think this one is the cup, because we got the cups there. This one is probably the skull, rather than anything else. Idiot. These interaction cooldowns. There we are. And then this one is probably the bottle. It's like the it's like the ones in Skyrim with the bears and the whales and all the rest of that jazz. Huzzah! We can now access all sorts of exciting things. Alright then. Let's... The geometry in this place is beyond me. Is beyond my meagre comprehension of mathematics. Right then, I have a box here. Can I push this box into this pressure plate? I can push it very slowly, for I am a weakling. A little bit of inertia. There we go. Quite cute. Oh goodness, here's something really quite cute. It is a demon monster. It's got a heck of a gate on it. Let me just dispatch the third one here. That seems a little bit more active than the others. I stand corrected, he's just as slow and tardy as all the rest of them. This looks like it might be the place to escape. Ooh, a big chef hat. and it's definitely not a top hat. I must say, not quite as good as mine. I mean, it is a decent top hat. I'm just saying that for the sake of showing off. Right. We've returned here again. Where was the other place I could go? It was down here, I think. Seriously, the geometry in this place is breaking my brain. I thought it was that way, which seemingly is the same as... No, that can't be the same way, because it's got the fiery didgeridoo-dahs there, and the other way doesn't have that. So, I give up. Everywhere seems to lead to the same place. Kitty. I'm not surprised our builders were confused. Kitty, I'm just walking around it, and I can't figure it out. Alright. Let's have this hat. Oh, I have left my gun behind. Alright. Must be a sort of a trade-in scheme, like a sort of a gun amnesty thing. Get a cool free hat if you give us your weapons. Okay, fair enough. Okie dokie then. Let us place this hat upon your bonds so that you are properly prepared for the dinner out. It looks like he's missing a tie, unfortunately. But,
Just in time for the finale!
oh, okay. I was wondering exactly how many rooms we was going to go through. Where am I going exactly? Am I going through there, or am I going up to the second floor? There is a staircase where you can go up to the second floor. We were there at the beginning, and it seems like there's a third floor as well, but we ain't making much use of that. Alright. What's this room then? Oh, a church!
At last you'll get to the heart of things, or rather, the soul. Behold my final stage!
It's not a church, our boy, it's a theatre. We are dealing with a showman, we is not dealing with a priest. Right then. I must admit I don't really know my way around the legitimate theatre, or otherwise. Hello! Right, let me see what I can find. Is that a snack trolley? It is a sadly empty snack trolley, and thus it is totally useless. Hello again. So he's blocking off certain exits. I suppose then we must go backstage as soon as we've investigated whatever under the sun this thing is. It's a big old urn being chained down by a couple of things. And here is a big old ladder that we can't climb up, because suddenly I've forgotten how to do that. Alright. Fair enough. Oh, the light's broken now. That's a shame.
Pointless, you know. No one can truly escape the mansion.
That's a bit sad. What's with the noir theme, exactly? What happened with that? Well, I know that. But do you want to lift the thing up first? I'm not just banging on the bits of wood. I'm actually hitting the keys. Do you think that might not be a good idea? So I think I need to find another code for that. Good thing I wrote down the one we used earlier in case they're using it again. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Dare I say it again? What? Something a wee bit freaky is going on here, and I'm not entirely sure what just happened. I'm going to see if I can quickly work my way back into that room that we began in, the living room, in order to see if I can see that code again. Can I go back into the living room? I think it was through this door here. Can I go back? No. Okay then. So presumably they don't want you to actually use that that original code for that piano, if indeed we ever get to work our way back into that room. Otherwise they would have let me access it again so that I could see the code. Okay, something screwy is going on with that room. Let us go for middle room instead, where everything's all upside down, including the controls. Okay, nice touch. Gladly the mouse isn't reversed. So, can you see the book there? The book that's in the next room I got booted out of. Oh dear. The mouse isn't reversed, so I'm just going to hold the backwards button in order to move forwards, and use the mouse to direct myself so that I don't end up getting all confused and all confusulated. Alright. Walking on the ceiling. At least we're not dancing on it. Giddy out, and I've done this again. So was my goal just to sort of complete the 3 rooms? I don't feel like I did complete the first room. I feel like I just sort of barged in. Like some sort of barging bozo. This is something about keeping things in good order. Alright, so have big cup of tea. Big, creatively shaped dildo. And big planet. Okay then, fair enough. Presumably I shouldn't do this with the laryngitis, but biggest of smooches. Right then. Never mind any of that verbal detritus. Okay, so the first one is the trophy then. Alright, what's the second one? The second one is the planet, and then I can work out what the third one is. Using a process of trial and error. I don't think I'm leaving here. Should have listened to Grace. Yes, you said that before. Also should have come up with some more creative dialogue. Right then. And here is the third one, just in case you couldn't figure it out. Alright then, so it's trophy, planet, and cup and saucer. Presumably that is the sequence with which I need to punch these articles of ownership. So, trophy, and a planet, and a cup. And a cup. Thank you. Huzzah! This thing is gone.
This is the end. The shepard must go.
Is that it? Is that the end of the game? Yes. That is all that she wrote. Alright then. Goodness. That was interesting. I like the concept. I like the story. I just feel that the execution at the end is a bit underwhelming. I get that it's focused on the puzzles, but I feel like the puzzles in that last bit of the theatre weren't all that really sort of engaging, which is a bit of a shame. And I feel like they, instead of just being random puzzles where you had to find like a sequence or press certain buttons or things, or just like get through a maze, I feel like it would have been better to be a bit more focused on actually getting out somehow, or releasing the spirit, or fighting the spirit, or farting in the general direction of the spirit of this Joseph Johnson character, in order to actually merit some sort of escape, rather than it just being pressing a few buttons like. But it shows potential. I think with a bit of fine-tuning, this could actually be quite fun. I like the idea that at the end of each room you get a piece of the statue and you're slowly constructing the statue. I don't know, maybe if you can just, like, the last room you got a final piece of the statue, like his tie or something, and then you went and put that on him, and then somehow the fully created statue allowed the spirits of him to leave the house, because it seemed like he couldn't just go by there. Or if we actually got to leave the house even, just something to just sort of tie the end up a bit, because it does feel a tiny bit unfinished, which is a shame. But I like the variety in terms of like the puzzles and the platforming and the I'm not convinced the combat really works with it. I feel like it's a bit unnecessary. I feel like the crazy geometry and the puzzles in that area worked better than the combat. I feel like the combat was a bit superfluous really, but yes. It was a bit silly, and it was a bit fun, and it was a bit different, which is more than enough for me. So despite my gripes, I am just a twit. So I shall leave you to get on with the rest of your life, and I shall stop plaguing you with my existence. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.